Okay, welcome everybody. I want to kick off the BlackHat USA event here today. And through the magic of telepresence, I want to hear if I can hear people in the third room over cheer. Come on, cheer everybody. Yeah, sweet. It's working. Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick introduction, talk about a couple of things, some administrative stuff, and then we'll kick it off with our first ever dual keynote session here. I bet you're all wondering how that's going to work. So am I. So, this is our largest BlackHat ever, and we've got about maybe a 10% growth, which is continuing to astound me. I think what we're seeing is more vertical organizations are getting interested in security. I think last year was our sort of breakthrough year, when all of a sudden people started attending from different enterprises. We got some more telecom people, we got some more storage people. I think what's happening is, traditionally we've really focused on the security researcher, and we'll always continue to do that, but I think more people are starting to pay attention to what the researcher's doing from other verticals, and so what we're seeing is just a broadening. And I think that's good, because that means more people are actually paying attention to what we have to say. Also, we've got more press here than ever before, which also reinforces my point. You'll see them swarming around. Don't be shy. They only know what you tell them. So, try to fill them with good facts. You know, you're an ambassador, I guess, to the general public at large. I have some administrative stuff I want to get through real quick, and then I'll get to the heart of the matter. So turn off your cell phones. Just remembered I haven't done mine yet. Take time to fill out your feedback forms, because we do pay attention to them. We really pride ourselves on listening to what you have to say about speakers, and that's kind of how we steer future direction of content. And without your help, it's just kind of us sitting in a room. So let us know what worked and what didn't. And you also notice we have the most number of tracks ever, and that's an attempt on my part to try to understand what's getting traction now, what you guys want to see. And so if I see a whole lot of attendance in, say, the fuzzing track, I'll know that's where I'll pay more attention. But if nobody likes the fuzzing track for some reason, but you're all into the legal track, well, maybe that means there's a shift going on I need to pay attention to. So send me these signals through feedback or email, and I'll incorporate it all into future shows. I've got some statistics for you. We've got attendees from 50 countries, which is pretty crazy. About 20% of our attendees are foreigners. They managed to make it in past INS, so that's pretty good. We probably would have had attendees from, say, 55 countries if they hadn't been so vigilant. Attendees from all habitable continents, that's 6 of them. I don't think anybody from Antarctica is currently here. And I've got some neat little trivia things. We have single attendees from the following countries. You're the only person here from your country. From Ireland, Guatemala, the Cayman Islands, the Netherlands Antilles. I always thought it was the Dutch Antilles, but they're saying it's the Netherlands Antilles. Russia, Thailand, Croatia, Hong Kong, and Gibraltar. Gibraltar is about 2.5 miles long. It's a pretty small country. When you look on the map, the police department takes up just as much space as almost everything else in the country. So, whoever you are out there, welcome. Glad you could make it. The whole city is probably 4 times larger than your country, and you can get in trouble a lot faster here than you can at home. So, be careful. I also want to take some time and remind you we have Wi-Fi's up and running. Normal network prophylactics should be applied, because it is kind of hostile. We do our best, but we have, I think our rogue AP detection is turned on, and it'll try to step on any rogue APs it sees. It'll flood them. So if you fire up your AP and you're getting DOS, that's probably us. It's for your own good. It's for my own good, I guess I should say. Tonight at the reception, when we get done, the last session at 6, we normally have a hacker court that goes on during the reception. We also have Johnny Long doing his no-tech hacking talk, which is really, really funny, and that's also happening. And then also, first ever, the Pony Awards, spelled, pwned. And they're doing an award for security researchers, and they have little golden ponies they're giving out. And the people are putting it together, Dave G., Tom, Halvar, Dave Eitel. They put it together at the last moment. We're happy to give them a space. Unfortunately, as you know probably, Halvar can't make it. He got detained at the border, sent back to Germany. Made the news a couple days ago. And I just want to use that to illustrate the point that BlackHat, we're a global conference, and I really rely on foreign speakers to make this show work. I'm trying to get you cutting-edge content. And unfortunately, this is not all coming from the United States. I rely on a lot of foreign speakers, and if they're going to have a hard time getting into this country, guess what? We're all going to suffer. And so, it was a very small technicality on Halvar's part, and it also turns out that they let somebody through Customs Border Control in Detroit they shouldn't have that day, and so they're cracking down on everybody else, and Halvar got swept up in that. But I'm just really nervous about the trend of making it hard to get competent, cutting-edge people into shows. So I don't know what kind of pull you've got, but write letters to congressmen, talk to your representatives, whatever you got to do. Otherwise, it's really going to sort of stifle this business. Just like lawsuits, frivolous lawsuits from companies trying to suppress research, I think this is the next sort of danger prong I have to watch out for. And I'll try to do what I can to deal with it. But, we're a community, and if the community can speak out and say, hey, Halvar pioneered the area of reverse engineering, he's probably helped start more companies than I've ever worked for. And he's not the kind of person you want to be keeping out of your country. So keep that in mind. Okay, so to kick off this dual keynote, simultaneous sessions, I'm going to first introduce our new diamond sponsor, Red Lambda. And to do so, well, I'll let Gregory introduce the two keynotes, but I'm going to take some time to introduce Gregory Marchwinski from Red Lambda. They're coming out of sort of stealth mode. They're launching officially at BlackHat. They've been around unofficially since 2005. And Gregory is the co-founder and CEO. He's had a career for 23 years spanning storage, security, data communications, and has been focused solely on Red Lambda for the last several years. He's pleased to be in Vegas, but, like all executives here that have brought a team to represent, he's a little nervous what's going to happen when they all go back home. None of them are going to want to leave. He's from Florida, and I understand they're having some pretty crappy weather there, and there's tornadoes versus hookers. It's kind of hard to, Wouldn't you be concerned if they were your employees? I would. So with that said, I want to introduce Gregory, and Gregory's going to do a simultaneous introduction. Let's see how that works. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. So hopefully with the magic of the dual presentations, they'll be on their way. And here in the Palace Ballrooms, I'd like to introduce Richard Clarke, who's currently chairman of Good Harbor Consulting, a strategic planning and corporate risk management firm, and on-air consultant for ABC News. Most notably, he was the chief counterterrorism and cybersecurity advisor on the U.S. National Security Council for both the Clinton and George W. Bush administrations through the time of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He's also served as an advisor to 4 presidents and has also published several books, one of which he'll be signing later today. So with that, I'd like to introduce Richard and have him take it away.
Thanks. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be back keynoting at BlackHat. I did that in the first year of the Bush administration, and when I got back to the White House, I got a little shit for it. They said, "You were talking to hackers? Aren't they criminals?" And I tried to explain, actually the term hacker means someone who can get into software and code and network configuration. No, they're criminals. They didn't get it. And the real reason I took shit was what I had said here, which was I encouraged you all to continue to hack, to find the vulnerabilities in code. Well, apparently someone from Redmond called the White House. I can't guess why. And I said, no, you don't understand. What I'm trying to do is to get people to find the vulnerabilities and report them, because I know other people are going to find the vulnerabilities and use them. But they didn't get it. But then there's a lot of stuff the Bush administration didn't get. That summer, when we were trying to tell them that there was about to be a major al-Qaeda attack, they did nothing. After the major al-Qaeda attack, when we told them we were attacked by the guys in Afghanistan, they invaded Iraq. At the time, I made myself very popular with the administration by saying in a meeting to Don Rumsfeld, that's a little bit like Franklin Roosevelt invading Mexico after Pearl Harbor. So after a while, I quit. But I tried while I was in the White House, both under Clinton and under Bush, to get across the importance of cybersecurity, IT security, whatever you want to call it. I tried to get across the importance, and they didn't get that either. And frankly, most of the country doesn't get it. A lot of companies that are running key critical infrastructures, banking and finance and public utilities, things with lots of databases, still have very insecure networks. So I have tried in every way I know how to get the message across to people. And I recall that one of the things that did work, at least in the Clinton administration, was visualization. If you could get people, senior people, cabinet level people, into a room and have them suspend disbelief and play a game, play a tabletop exercise, they eventually got into it. That worked very well. So having written a book about the failures of the Bush administration on terrorism, and having that become the nation's #1 bestseller, I thought, guess I can write books. Why don't I try one on cyberspace? And so I wrote Breakpoint, which is a visualization exercise of the world in the very near future. The world which is still relying heavily, even more so, on cyberspace, and a world that is at the same time still very insecure with cyberspace. And without giving too much of the book away, well, things happen, including apparently at a BlackHat convention in Vegas. But the scene of the book, and the reason I wanted to write the book, was not just to talk about cybersecurity, but also so that policymakers, assuming policymakers read thrillers, so that policymakers and citizens could see the future that's just a little bit out ahead of us and see the major changes that are about to occur because of technological change. There is coming, it's already begun, a huge technological change because of convergence. And I'm not talking about convergence of telephony and IP. I'm talking about the convergence of nanotechnology, genetics, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, robotics, neuroscience, pharmacology. There's a lot of